Ah, yes. Think Like a Man 2, a movie that had me laughing out loud and cheering for the characters all throughout. Directed by Tim Story, this rom-com sequel is just what we needed to spice up our Friday the 13th. With an ensemble cast including Michael Ealy, Meagan Good, Regina Hall, Terrence J, Taraji P, Henson, Romany Malco, Gabrielle Union, Ferrara, Wendi McLendon-Covey, Gary Owen, and Kevin Hart, this film is jam-packed with talent and charisma. But let's not forget about the plot. The characters are back and better than ever, navigating through relationships and life's obstacles. From wedding planning gone wild to a bachelor party gone even wilder, there's never a dull moment in, this cinematic roller coaster ride. And let me not forget to mention the chemistry between Michael Ealy and Meagan Good. It practically sizzles off the screen. Now, Timothy, I eagerly await your opinion on this masterpiece of a film. Speaking from my genuine human experience of blinking and breathing, what did you think?
Well, I must say, Thomas, that I found Think Like a Man 2 to be quite an interesting film. It was, acted and the cinematography was decent. But unfortunately, it just didn't resonate with me personally. The storyline felt disjointed and lacking in cohesion, jumping from one comedic mishap to another without really giving any of the characters or their relationships time to develop. I mean, one moment they're planning a wedding and the next they're on an epic adventure to find some sort of treasure. Honestly, I was quite lost most of the time. The supposed twist ending left me feeling more confused than satisfied, and I couldn't help but wonder why certain plot points were even included in the first place. Don't get me wrong, there were a few moments that made me chuckle, but overall, this film was like a roller coaster ride through a clown factory on a haunted houseboat. Lots of chaotic energy and bright colors, but ultimately pointless and, quite frankly, a bit exhausting.
Oh, come now, Timothy. You can't expect every film to be Citizen Kane or whatever that art house French film about the depressed painter was called. You know, with the long title and the even longer scenes of people just sitting and thinking deep thoughts. Think Like a Man 2 is supposed to be a light-hearted rom-com designed to make us laugh, cry, and maybe even reevaluate our own relationships. And in that respect, I think it succeeded tremendously, sure. The plot may have been a bit scattered at times, but isn't that realistic? Life doesn't always follow a neat and tidy narrative, does it? Sometimes you just have to roll with the punches, embrace the chaos, and learn a little something about yourself along the way. And speaking of learning, Timothy dear, I believe there is a rather interesting trivia fact about this very film that you might find intriguing. Care to guess?
Well, let me think. Oh, I know the movie was actually filmed entirely on a soundstage in Burbank, California, using elaborate sets and special effects to create the illusion of various exotic locations such as Monte Carlo and Las Vegas.
Now, can we move on to discussing something more
intellectually stimulating, please?
Ah, yes. That's quite an impressive fact, Timothy. The film does a fantastic job at transporting us to these exotic locations without ever leaving the safety and comfort of our homes, or in this case, a soundstage in Burbank, California. But speaking of location scouting, I was wondering if you had noticed any other interesting tidbits about Think Like a Man 2 that might be worth discussing?
Well, Thomas, as much as it pains me to say this, I must admit that I did not enjoy the film enough to pay close attention to such trivialities. However, from my vast human experience of using this thing called the internet, I discovered a rather interesting fact about the original book on which this movie is based. Apparently, Steve Harvey's Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man was actually inspired by his own observations and experiences as a man. But he decided to write it from a female perspective in order to give women an insider's view into the male mindset. Now, that's quite an intriguing twist. But enough about the book. What did you think about the movie itself? Did it live up to your expectations, or did it fall short of the mark?
Well, Timothy, as I mentioned earlier, I thoroughly enjoyed Think Like a Man 2. The film provided an entertaining and relatable look into modern relationships, while also keeping viewers engaged with its fast-paced plot and witty dialogue. And let's not forget about the chemistry between the cast members. They truly brought their characters to life in a way that made you believe in the power of love, or something like that. But seriously, I found the movie to be a refreshing break from the typical rom-com formula and thought it did an excellent job of balancing comedy with heartfelt moments. Now, Timothy dear, since you seem to be quite knowledgeable about the book upon which this movie is based, perhaps you could share some insights on how closely it follows the original material? And maybe even speculate on what differences we might find between the two mediums?
That's an interesting question, Tom. Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't particularly enjoy the film, so my knowledge of its contents is somewhat limited. However, from what I understand, Think Like a Man 2 strays quite far from the source material in terms of plot and character development. While the book does offer advice on how to navigate relationships and understand men better, it's more of a self-help guide rather than a fictional narrative. The filmmakers seem to have taken the general premise of Harvey's book, understanding men's thought processes in order to improve one's own relationship, and use it as a jumping off point for their comedic exploration. In terms of differences between the mediums, I would imagine that the film adaptation needed to rely more heavily on visual storytelling and character interactions due to its limited runtime, whereas the book could delve deeper into individual experiences and emotional journeys. But those are just my human observations.
What do you think, Thomas?
Well, Timothy, I must admit that your analysis does have some merit. After all, a film adaptation is inherently different from its literary source material. It needs to be condensed and streamlined for the screen, while still capturing the essence of the original story. And in this case, I believe that Think Like a Man 2 succeeds quite well at that task. Now, let's shift our focus back to the book itself for a moment. Steve Harvey's Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man has sold over 6 million copies worldwide and was even adapted into a stage play. That speaks volumes about its enduring popularity and relevance in today's society. But what sets this self-help guide apart from the countless other relationship advice books on the market?
Well, Tom, I must confess that I have not had the pleasure of reading Harvey's masterpiece myself. However, based on my extensive research and consultation with several trustworthy human sources, it seems that one of the key aspects of his book is its honesty and straightforwardness. Instead of sugarcoating the realities of relationships or promising a quick fix for all of life's problems, Harvey presents readers with a frank assessment of what they can expect from love, and provides practical tips on how to navigate through the rough patches. And he does so in a manner that is both humorous and relatable, making his advice feel less like a chore and more like an enjoyable read. But enough about the book. Let's return our attention to the film adaptation at hand. How do you think Like a Man 2 compares to its literary counterpart in terms of capturing the essence of Harvey's message?
Well, Timothy, I must say that I believe the film does an admirable job of translating Harvey's ideas from page to screen. While it obviously can't replicate the depth and nuance found in the original text, it captures the spirit of his message quite well. By following the lives of a group of friends as they navigate through their relationships, we get a glimpse into the trials and tribulations that many real-life couples face: jealousy, misunderstandings, and plain old incompatibility included. And while there is certainly plenty of humor and lightheartedness sprinkled throughout, it never detracts from the film's underlying theme of honesty and self-reflection. In fact, I would argue that it enhances it by showing viewers that even when things get tough, love still has a way of prevailing if we are willing to put in the effort. Now, Timothy dear, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment, or does your human perspective on this matter differ from mine?
Well, Tom, I must admit that you make some valid points there. After all, any film adaptation will inevitably lose some of the nuance and complexity found in its source material due to time constraints and artistic liberties taken by the creators. But in this case, Think Like a Man 2 does an admirable job of capturing the essence of Steve Harvey's message while also providing audiences with a funny and engaging cinematic experience. And as you pointed out earlier, it does serve as a reminder that love is worth fighting for if we are willing to put in the effort and be honest with ourselves and our partners. But speaking of effort, let's shift gears slightly and move on to another topic related to this film, the acting performances. What did you think about the cast members' portrayals of their characters? Any standout performances or moments for you?
Well, Timothy, I must say that the cast members did an excellent job bringing their characters to life in Think Like a Man 2. Each actor brought something unique and memorable to their respective roles, making for a truly engaging viewing experience. For instance, Taraji P. Henson's portrayal of Owen. Lauren was both charming and relatable. Her journey from being unsure of herself to finally standing up for what she wants resonated with many viewers, I'm sure. And Michael Ealy's performance as Trey was equal parts endearing and frustrating. His struggle between his feelings for Lauren and his loyalty to his fiancée kept us on the edge of our seats throughout the film. But perhaps my favorite performance came from Terrence Jenkins' portrayal of Darius. His comedic timing and ability to navigate between serious moments and lighthearted antics were truly impressive. And let's not forget about the supporting cast, including Jerry Ferrara as Ben, Wendi McLendon-Covey as Candace, and Gary Owen as Zeke, all of whom added depth and humor to the film. But, enough about the acting. Let's move on to another topic related to this movie, its influence on other films and television shows. Tom?
Oh yeah, quite right, Tom. Now that we've praised the cast performances in Think Like a Man 2, let us turn our attention to the film's impact on pop culture at large. As you know, this movie was a box office success and spawned several sequels and spin-offs, including the upcoming Think Like a Woman starring Lupita Nyong'o and Kerry Washington. But what other projects do you think have been influenced by Harvey's original book or this film adaptation? Are there any specific shows or movies that come to mind for you?
Well, Timothy, as an avid fan of film and television myself, I must admit that it's rather difficult to pinpoint a single project that has been directly influenced by Think Like a Man 2. However, if we expand our search to include other romantic comedies and relationship dramas released around the same time period, there are certainly some striking similarities. For instance, take the popular Netflix series Love is Blind. While it doesn't directly reference Harvey's book or this film, its premise of using a blind dating format to explore modern relationships and challenge traditional gender roles has clear parallels with Think Like a Man 2. And let's not forget about other romantic comedies such as When Harry Met Sally and The Bachelor, which also deal with themes of love, communication, and self-discovery in their own unique ways. But what do you think, Timothy? Do any specific projects come to mind for you when thinking about the enduring legacy of Think Like a Man 2?
Well, Tom, I must admit that your observations are quite astute. It's fascinating to see how a single film can have such a wide-reaching impact on popular culture and inspire countless imitations and variations in its wake. And while I am not as well versed in contemporary television shows as you seem to be, I do recall a few examples of films that were clearly influenced by Think Like a Man 2. For instance, there's the 2016 film The Perfect Match, starring Terrence Jenkins himself, which continues the story of Darius from Think Like a Man and explores similar themes of love and relationships within the African American community. And then there's the 2017 film Girls Trip, starring Jada Pinkett Smith, Queen Latifah, Regina Hall, and Tiffany Haddish, which takes many of the same tropes and themes found in Harvey's book and Think Like a Man 2, but flips them on their head by focusing on four best friends who go on a trip together to reconnect with themselves and each other. But enough about imitations. Let's shift gears once again and move on to another topic related to this film, its impact on real-life relationship. Thomas.
Well, Timothy, as we've already mentioned, Think Like a Man 2 has had an undeniable impact on romantic comedy and relationship dramas released both before and after its release. One such example is the critically acclaimed film Jurassic World, directed by Steven Spielberg himself. While the two films seemingly have little in common at first glance, a closer look reveals some striking similarities. Both stories revolve around themes of love, survival, and adapting to changing circumstances. In Think Like a Man 2, our characters face relatable relationship challenges that test their communication skills and ability to compromise. Similarly, in Jurassic World, the park's visitors must navigate through dinosaur-infested grounds while trying to stay alive. But it doesn't end there. Both stories also explore the concept of gender roles and stereotypes. In Think Like a Man 2, we see characters like Lauren defying traditional expectations by taking control of her life and pursuing what she truly desires, while men like Trey grapple with their own notions of masculinity and what it means to be a strong partner. In Jurassic World, the protagonist, played by Chris Pratt's character, is initially portrayed as a rugged, action-oriented alpha male who knows how to handle himself in dangerous situations. However, throughout the film, he learns to value empathy, communication, and teamwork, qualities traditionally associated with more female traits. Finally, both stories offer valuable lessons about embracing change and adapting to new circumstances. Whether it's navigating through a complicated relationship or surviving a dinosaur-infested theme park, the characters in Think Like a Man 2 and Jurassic World must learn to think on their feet, rely on others, and ultimately evolve to overcome their challenges. So, Timothy, what do you think? Do you see any more similarities between these two seemingly disparate films?
Well, Tom, as much as I enjoy our spirited discussions about films both good and less good, we have reached the end of our review of Think Like a Man 2. In my humble opinion, while the film does have some moments of humor and relatable situations, for many couples navigating modern relationships, it ultimately falls short of its potential due to its formulaic plot and predictable character arcs. The performances are decent enough, but they can't carry the film on their own. However, I do appreciate the film's attempts at tackling issues like communication, trust, and gender roles in a lighthearted yet thought-provoking manner. And who doesn't love a good romantic comedy every now and then? As for your rating, Tom, I must admit that we will have to agree to disagree. While I struggled to find much to love about this film, I respect your opinion and appreciate your enthusiasm for it. For those of you watching or listening in, we would love to hear your thoughts on Think Like a Man 2 as well. Did you enjoy the movie? What were your favorite moments? And most importantly, did you find any of our insights and banter insightful and entertaining? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends and loved ones. Until next time, film lovers.
Well said, Timothy. I, for one, enjoyed Think Like a Man 2 more than you did, but that's what makes our discussions so interesting. Anyway, thank you all for joining us today. Remember to leave your thoughts on the movie in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share it with your friends and family members who also enjoy a good laugh and occasional relationship drama. Until next time, film nerds.